everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Wednesday evening, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. I want to get back into our normal routine, which is do a top 10 countdown on Wednesdays. Good evening, Kevron. Good to have you here. As always, there's been so much going on that I have not done one the last 2 weeks. I feel like it's time to get back into the routine of things. Tonight's going to be an easy one. I'm just going to talk about the college football AP top 10 poll. It came out yesterday. That's only because there was a game on Monday. But once the season gets started and we get back into a normal routine, which is starting this week, it comes out on Mondays. And then, of course, once we get to Halloween and we transition into the playoff poll, it comes out on Tuesdays. But the AP poll comes out on Mondays. I'm only going to talk about the top 10 since it is a top 10 countdown, but maybe starting next week, now that we're into a normal routine, we can break down the whole AP top 25. But now I do want to mention the top 10 and then make one comment that I thought was funny, because I made the comment on Sunday, and then sure enough, come Tuesday, it almost came to be exactly true. But number 10, we have South Carolina. Number 9, Notre Dame. Number 8, Clemson. Number 7, Texas. And number 6, Oregon. And I think I heard yesterday that it's the first time since, I want to say 2011 or something like that, that South Carolina and Clemson have both been in the top 10. Hey there, Molly. Glad to have you here. But again, 10 through 6 is South Carolina, Notre Dame, Clemson, Texas, and Oregon. Number 5, we have Miami. Number 4, Georgia. Number 3, LSU. Number 2, Penn State. And number 1, of course, Ohio State. So there we see that Notre Dame, Clemson, and Texas all lost, but they all stayed in the top 10 because they all lost to other top 10 teams. I did think that Penn State would go to 1 only because of the fact, they were 2, so they were ahead of Ohio State, but I guess the voters gave, much more respect to Ohio State beating Texas and Penn State beating whatever middle school team it was that they beat. The only thing that really surprised me, not that it really matters, but I probably would have had Notre Dame 8 and Clemson 9 as opposed to Clemson 8 and Notre Dame 9, only because Clemson lost at home. Now, both teams lost to other great teams, and when 2 top 10 teams play, somebody has to lose. But I would have given Notre Dame a little bit more credit for losing on the road as opposed to losing at home. But outside of that, really no surprises. But being a guy at church Sunday morning, we're talking about Ohio State winning, then he brought up Alabama getting beaten. I said, you watch. When the new poll comes out Tuesday, they're going to put Florida State in the top 10 just to make it look like Bama lost to a good football team. And sure enough, the new poll comes out Tuesday, and Florida State's ranked 14th. So not quite top 10, but close. And they are doing that to make it look like Alabama lost to a good football team. Florida State's an 8-win team, tops. Way better than last year, but they're still not a top 10 team. But it doesn't matter because Alabama sucks. They're going to finish 7-5. So whether Florida State finishes first in the country or dead last in the country, Bama's going to go 7-5. So this loss is not going to matter. Bama's not a top 5 team anymore. They're not a top 10 team anymore. They're not a top 20 team anymore. They're just not. So they can try to make it look like Bama lost to a good football team, which they did. They didn't lose to a great football team, but they lost to a good football team. But Alabama sucks, so it doesn't matter. And, I've been saying for 3 years now that Alabama's slowly coming to the end of their run. And, I wasn't saying it taking a shot at the coaching staff or the players, the team, the fans, nothing. It's just, if you're a sports fan, it doesn't matter what team it is and what sport it is. Nothing lasts forever. Any team, any sport, when you dominate, eventually it comes to an end. And Alabama wasn't going to stay a top 5 team forever. It's just not possible. You look at how long the Patriots dominated the NFL, and now, they're the laughing stock. Now, they might improve a little bit this year, but, they're not going to improve by a whole lot. And you look at, how many rings the Steelers won back in the day, and now they ain't won a playoff game in over a decade. Look at how good the Cowboys were back in the day, and now they're terrible. It just happens. It's sports. No sport has the same team dominate forever and ever and ever. Every run comes to an end, and Bama's run just came to an end. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just nothing lasts forever. And I really think now that with the whole NIL stuff, which it's going to be changed eventually. We can't keep going down the path we're on now. But until it changes, I really don't think you're going to see any one team dominate. It doesn't mean you're not going to see a team win more than one national title, because you will. It just means you're not going to see a run now like Nebraska had back in the 90s. You're not going to see a run like Bama just had where one team wins, 3 out of 6 titles or 6 out of 10 titles, because with this whole NIL stuff now, instead of all these 5-star players going to one school can't afford to pay 25 5-star players $10 million a year. It's just not possible. So you're having this great talent. Each big-time school is getting 4 or 5 5-star players. So you're going to see the same teams basically up top. You're just not going to see the same teams every year win the national title, because you're going to see these 5-star players more spread out now until the whole NIL thing comes to an end, which it will. It's not going to keep going like it is now. If it does, there'll be no college football in 15 years because every school's going to be broke. Either that or you're going to be paying $1,000 just to go to a game and sit in the nosebleed section. But any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. The Catapult Company is excited to announce its latest product launch. And that does it for today's Rev Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Rev Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.